So before I get into this DVD/Blu-ray update, I thought I would say a happy birthday, or belated, a very, very belated happy birthday to Chris, the Boys Don't Cry 96, 15th birthday. I hope you got everything that you wanted. And this DVD update in general is a bit smaller than the last one, but still saying that it's smaller than the last one is still quite big compared to anyone else's. So there you go. Before I get into all the new stuff, I thought I would show some of the stuff I didn't show in the last DVD update, down to the fact that I have no idea. First one is High Fidelity, which I bought in Glasgow but forgot to show for some bizarre reason. I'd never seen High Fidelity, I've seen it now, and I do really like it. It's very funny, very truthful, very honest, and I would say that it's probably Jack Black at his very best. I do enjoy High Fidelity and I know it's got a good cult following. Next one is Girl Interpreted. Girl Interpreted is sort of like a light-hearted One Flew with Cuckoo's Nest with Angelina Jolie. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but I really enjoyed Girl Interpreted. I'd never seen it before, and you can almost see why Angelina Jolie won the Oscar. Still, the Tom Cruise 1980s, my fetish basically, my guilty pleasure. I really love Risky Business, I think it's a really, really good film. I haven't watched Cocktail yet, but I do like Tom Cruise in this kind of style. And the last two were box sets, which I got for my birthday, because the last time I had a DVD update, it was my birthday. So 30 Rock. I have become addicted to 30 Rock basically. It's really quick episodes, 20 minutes each. They're really, really funny, and I'm on season 2 now, which I'm surprised to be saying, because I really, really didn't expect it to have that effect on me. It's one of my favourite shows at the minute, 30 Rock. Next one is Being Human, which is one I've heard amazing things about, but have not gotten around to it because I'm watching Mad Men at the minute. That's my obsession at the minute, so Being Human will probably be next. Now we shall continue with the new stuff. As for continuing with the theme of box sets, especially TV box sets, we have Fringe Season 2. I've seen Fringe Season 2 now. I'm a huge fan of Fringe Season 1, a huge fan of Fringe and science fiction in general. This was out last year, but I waited about 5 months for it to go down drastically in price for me to buy it, because I wasn't going to pay very much for it. But Fringe Season 2 is very good. I would say it doesn't start off very well. I wasn't all that into it, but by the end I really wanted to know what happened. It was like my House syndrome. Every time I get to the end of a season of House, I need to know what instantly happens. So I always watch House, it would seem. But Fringe, if you're a huge fan, Season 2 is worth picking up. The last TV box set is Sopranos. I got this as a gift, just kind of a random gift for no reason. I've never seen The Sopranos from the same people who do Mad Men, so I am bound to like The Sopranos. I'll probably start watching it right after I have finished with Season 1 of Mad Men. First one is Bedeviled, the one I actually reviewed. It's a pretty effective slasher film. It's from Asia, it went straight to DVD. It is an effective slasher film. It's rewarding by the end. It is sort of surreal at times. It has this idea about music for pleasure. And it also lacks a sense of perspective from 2 different angles, which it could have had, which I would have really liked and liked the film a lot more. But Bedeviled, pretty effective slasher film nonetheless. Battle Royale is a film I've never seen, still haven't watched it, but hear great things about it. It seems like a film that kind of says, I will enjoy it, and it's in the same league as people who will enjoy films I really don't like Hobo with a Shotgun, and I don't know, Piranha 3D for example. So Battle Royale seems like that kind of film, but so much better. So I'm looking forward to watching it. Next one is Confessions. Confessions is the film that won the 2011 Japanese Academy Award for Best Film, and I'm on. Confessions essentially works around the idea of a woman who's teacher of this class, and she finds out that 2 of the kids in the class have basically done something to her daughter which has subsequently made her die. And then it goes from flashback after about half an hour of a very long dialogue scene, which is incredibly gripping, and goes around how it's affected them and why they did it in the first place. Confessions is actually quite good. It is very silly at times, it's very farcical, but I think even when it gets that idea of being very silly, it can be actually very serious at times, and it's got that right blend of being serious and silly at the same time, where you're basically able to believe in the drama that's going on. However, it gets very contrived and really convoluted most of the time. The problem is that the film goes, okay, I can suspend my disbelief by about that much, and then it goes to the nth degree and it doesn't work. But I say it's worth seeing if you're into these types of films. The next one is a film I've wanted to see since 2009, since it was on like Spill.com's top 10 of 2009. It's Fish Story. It's a film I've wanted to see for ages, but it just never came out really, and this film came out last year on DVD, but it was £20. I'm not paying that much, but it's £6. Still got the thing on it, and I still haven't watched it yet, and I've wanted to see it for so many years, yet I still haven't watched it. There you go. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, which is the Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton film. I would say I haven't watched this film yet, but there are interesting things about it. Of course, this film kind of reflects their own marriage in real life, which went up and down, marriage, divorce, divorce. And now, of course, it's getting put on screen by Martin Scorsese, so that will probably be quite interesting to see, and probably quite interesting to watch. I'm really looking forward to seeing this film, just haven't watched it yet. Just want to say that most of these DVDs that are coming up, I really haven't watched many of them. That's all I'm going to say. So if I just continue going, here's a film, I haven't watched it yet, I can't say a thing. That's the DVD update basically. Next one is Slackers, which I haven't watched. Slackers is the Richard Linklater film. It's a film I've wanted to see for many years, since there was a competition for UK film buffs, and #1 film buff, who was like a 13-year-old, basically said this is his favourite film, so I've always wanted to kind of see it since then. So Slackers, I'm looking forward to watching it, like all the other films, but I just haven't got around to it. However, the next one I have seen, Mysterious Skins, a film I've wanted to see for about 3 years, but I've just never been able to find it. It's not specifically cheap online, but it was cheap in a store. It was only like a £5, and it was a film I've wanted to see for a while. It's the Greg Kari film. It stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and I would say it's mostly to do with the finding out about the real world in the most hardest sense. Basically, it's a very good film, very tough to watch, very funny to watch at times, and very odd as well. So I would say if you haven't seen Mysterious Skins, it's probably worth seeing, and if you haven't seen it, then Chris is basically going to annoy the hell out of you until you do. Next one is American Beauty, which I still have not seen, so I can't really say much about it. It's the one that Annette Bening got snubbed for, apparently. Everyone tells me to see it, everyone raves about it, and people who say it's one of their favourite films keep on getting surprised that I haven't seen it. Next one is a Tom McCarthy film. It's Station Agent. This is the one that everyone who hasn't basically seen Station Agent, people say it's his best film. I bought it basically because it's a Tom McCarthy film. I'm a huge fan of The Visitor. I like Win-Win quite a bit, but The Station Agent I still haven't watched, but I'm a big Tom McCarthy fan just on the basis of The Visitor in general. So there you go. The next one I have not watched, it is Wendy and Lucy. It's the one that came out in 2007. I'm really looking forward to watching that. Kelly Reichardt fan in some respects. I really like Old Joy. I'm a huge fan of Meek's Cutoff this year, so I would say that Wendy and Lucy seems like a film that will be right up my alley. It stars Michelle Williams, who apparently just about gives her best performance. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to watching it. Next one basically has a cover that says that you probably shouldn't watch this film. It's Thomasized, especially if you're like 5 years old and you want to watch it. Your parents say, no, look at the cover, boy. Thomasized, I'm looking forward to watching it, mostly based on the book, which I got told about. Very mixed things about it, very confusing apparently at times to some people, so I thought the film would probably, it's probably better to see the film first before you read the book, because the film always misses out stuff from the book. I always think seeing a film that's based on a book is always just about better to watch the film first, because the film will be different and it's better not to be spoiled, I think. So Thomasized, you know very little about, apart from it's got a very famous cover in my books. So I would say that, yeah, I'm looking forward to it mostly based on the hype from the book. Next one is Mary and Max. This was the animated film that I wanted to see at the Edinburgh Film Festival but never got a chance to, basically. It was out last year in the UK, it was out in 2009 in the US, because, you know, that's how the US works. I'm really looking forward to seeing this. I haven't seen anything that has had Philip Seymour Hoffman in it that has been bad, so I'm really looking forward to Mary and Max. A lot of reviews, a lot of hype, a lot of critical acclaim from just about anyone on YouTube, from anyone who has seen the film, has told me just see it at some point. So Mary and Max. Next one is Manhattan Murder Mystery, and I've basically gone on Amazon and added all the Woody Allen films that I haven't seen basically onto my Amazon wish list, and every time I go and buy a film, every once in a while I'll just add a Woody Allen film that I haven't seen, because they're only about £2. and this was the exact same. And Manhattan Murder Mystery is apparently one of Woody Allen's last great films, even though I would say that Vicky Cristina Barcelona and Match Point are very, very good. Manhattan Murder Mystery is kind of in the same vein as Small Time Crooks, hence Murder Mystery. I'm really looking forward to watching it. I really, really am a big fan of Woody Allen, one of my favourite films of all time. Take the Money and Run, one of my all-time favourites is Manhattan, one of my all-time favourites is Sleeper. So I'm a huge Woody Allen fan, I've seen a lot of his films, and Manhattan Murder Mystery just adds to that, basically. I lied about the box sets, basically, but this is a film box set, and this is the Alfred Hitchcock collection, which I got as a gift, but I know where it came from. It came from a website called Hot UK Deals. This was for £12, when it contains 14 films. So I thought that was a really, really good thing when this costs about £40 brand new. So there you go. Films it contains, there are some I've seen, some I own already but haven't watched, so I'm not really caring because I'm not going to be able to get all the rest of them for £14 basically, or £12 actually. The Birds, Shadow of a Doubt, Family Plot, Topaz, Frenzy, Torn Curtain, The Man Who Knew Too Much, Trouble with Harry, Marine, Rope, Rear Window, Vertigo, Saboteur and Psycho. So that is the Hitchcock collection. It is a very good collection for the films. It's horrible packaging. It has the worst packaging I've ever seen on any edition of any box set ever. It's made from cardboard that does not stick together like that, which is really annoying, so it just comes apart really easily. When I was in the States, I went to New York and San Francisco, and if you've not seen my video of the entire trip, basically it is down in the underbar. So I found a couple of places. I found a Best Buy, which I spent a couple of minutes in, found a few films, same with Borders on their sale, and a Subway store, which was really odd. First one was Blue Velvet, which was a really hard film to find in the UK, and then when I got back from the States it was a very easy film to find. It's about £3 in the UK, which is really annoying. Spent about $13 on this, which I'm not too happy about, but it is the American edition, which is much better than the UK one. So it's single disc, blah blah blah, recyclable. It's all pretty standard stuff, but good special features anyway on the back. It's one of the only David Lynch films I haven't seen, so I am looking forward to seeing Blue Velvet. It is the probably most controversial ones of his career, I would say, at the minute. And Blue Velvet, it's the one that Roger Ebert hates, so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing it, because Roger Ebert, it's like, okay, oof, oof, oof. That's how Roger Ebert goes with me. The next few I bought in a Subway store, not the sandwich place, but a store, a DVD store that was in a Subway terminal. I didn't really understand that. It was freaking hot in that store anyway. But I found Cube for $3, which I thought was really good. It's the Vincenzo Natali film. I really wanted to see it since I saw Splice, which is a film I really like. It's sort of part Frankenstein myth, part body shock horror. It's a really good science fiction film, I think, and I really am looking forward to seeing Cube, because it's a film that gets raved about, especially when Splice came out, and it's also a film that people at school, which is really surprising, rave and rave and rave about. You know, I know a guy who's seen it 5 times and really loves it, so I'm really looking forward to watching it. Next one is a 4-movie pack, which I never have ever owned. It contains 2 films I've always wanted to see, Your Friends and Neighbours and Very Bad Things, but also came with Serial Mom and Nurse Betty. They all have really good casts. There are 2 films there I've always wanted to see, and I get 2 others for $10. I thought that was a pretty good deal. Next one is The Outsiders, which is a Francis Ford Coppola film. I have never seen it. It's one of the only Coppola films I actually haven't seen, apart from Peggy Sue one. I haven't seen that one. I would say that I am looking forward to seeing it. It's sort of part Rat Pack, part Rumblefish, kind of where all that started for Coppola. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. The last one I bought in the States was Flipped. Now, don't ask me why, but I did. And I've always kind of wanted to see it since it came out in the States and came out in cinemas over here, but I didn't get to go see it because it basically stayed in for a couple of days and then buggered off because it was a massive flop. It made 0 to no money over here. I don't think it made any money in the States either. But I do want to see it. It's a Rob Reiner film. The guy did Stand By Me. He's also the guy who did The Bucket List. Let me just put this in terms that anyone can understand. The Bucket List is one of the worst films ever made, and I will not reiterate that anymore. It's one of the worst films ever made. The Flipped, nonetheless, even though you're trying to sell the film by saying it's from the director of The Bucket List, I am still looking forward to watching. The next two I bought in a deal for £6 each, basically. The first one is Passenger Side, which is a film I've been getting a lot of hype about from people I really trust, like Sight and Sound, people from Times, from The Guardian. I think The Times, the paper, is the best place to basically get film publications and film reviews in general, so if they give it a good review then I am bound to get something out of this film, I imagine. And the one I bought it with was Blue Valentine, which is one of my favourite films of the year. It's a very truthful, very honest, very pure, I think, love story, also very soulful and really wonderfully acted. I think it's very powerful and it really works. The only problem with this edition of the film is down to the DVD cover. If you look at it, it has a review on the top. This review comes from David Edwards of the crappy ass Daily Mirror. David Edwards is the worst critic in the world. He's up there with everyone from America, basically, from Brian Mandevor to Dustin Putman to Kyle Smith, people like that. And then you have David Edwards, who basically apparently represents UK criticism. I don't believe that. Next one is Cutter's Way. This is the Jeff Bridges film that I've never seen. I haven't seen many Jeff Bridges films, but this is one I've wanted to see because it was getting a re-release in the UK courtesy of BFI, but it was on far too late for me to go and see, so I thought, right, I'll pick it up. And it was only £2 and something, or £3, something like that. So I thought, right, it's actually cheaper to buy the film than go to the cinema to see it, even though it's probably worth just paying a little extra to see it on the big screen. Next one is Helen. Helen is a film I've wanted to see for a while. It's been on my wish list on Amazon for a while, and I got piqued with my interest because of what Philip French said about the film, who was actually on the front cover for The Observer. He also put it on his top 10 of the year. I'm a big fan of reading stuff by Philip French. Also Mark Kermode, who's one of the UK's better critics, and one of the better critics just ever, really. He put it on his top 10 of 2008, so I've been looking forward to seeing this film for a good while now. So Helen, it's to do with a missing girl. It's supposed to be very odd and weird and a really, really good, fascinating debut, so that seems like it's a film right up my alley. Next one is Wrist Cutters, a love story. I've had this on my wish list for as long as I've had Mysterious Skin and wanted to see that film. I saw the trailer when the film actually came out, but of course it's an 18, so I wasn't able to go and see it, of course. But I'm really, really looking forward to seeing it. I've wanted to see it for 2 years just about, and I'm really annoyed that I didn't buy it sooner. It's the Arbor. It's a film I bought with an HMV gift card, basically, for £30. So I thought it was really good. This was only £6, it was in a sale, so that's really good. I've wanted to see the Arbor for a while. It's I don't know very much about it. It's based on the play, and the actors mimic the voices. They mimic the voiceover that's playing the narration from the original like recorded version on the BBC or something like that. I've probably gotten all of that wrong. But the Arbor apparently is very, very good, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing it. One of my most looked forward films for this year was a film called Cold Weather, and I wasn't able to go and see it mostly because it didn't come out here, but it just about came on DVD a couple of months ago, I think now. This is a film I've wanted to see for a while. It's sort of like a modern take on the Sherlock Holmes, mixed in with sort of a mumblecore indie spirit. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing it. It's one of my most looked forward films since I saw the trailer at the beginning of the year. So this has got a lot of hype in my world backing for it. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing Cold Weather. Next one is my favourite of the Judd Apatow produced vehicles. Basically, it's Pineapple Express. It's my favourite. I think it's really, really funny. I hate David Gordon Green now for what he's doing to comedy with that sitter and the abomination of Your Highness. Of course, the funny thing about David Gordon Green, he was tipped to be, with his earlier films, which are really indie, really well acclaimed, like proper films basically, not silly and fart jokes and dick jokes. But he was tipped to be the new Malik, which I found really funny that he now does films like this. Even though I really like Pineapple Express, I hate where David Gordon Green's going. That's all I'm saying. At Blu-rays, I have a record amount of Blu-rays to show. It's 8. 8 Blu-rays. The first 3 of the Blu-rays are part of an 80s collection, which I believe has come out mostly because of Take Me Home Tonight, which is an abomination of a film. That's all I've heard. I've heard nothing but bad things. It's Fast Times at Richmond High. It's on Blu-ray for the first time, written by Cameron Crowe. I've never seen it, but I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Likewise, I've never seen Dazed and Confused, Richard Linklater film. Don't know why I've never seen it, I just haven't. Apparently this is the best condition basically to watch the film in, better than the DVD. It's just got no special features basically. It's got like an abomination, minimal, barely anything. But the next one I have seen, and it's part of the 80s collection as well, Animal House. Just got released on Blu-ray. Animal House is one of my favourite films of all time. It makes me laugh in ways I never imagined it to. It is beyond funny at times. I've wet myself watching this film. First one is Submarine, one of my favourites of this year. It's a really, really good edition of the film. It's got art cards, which I found to be really cool to find. And basically, because this film can fall into sort of a romantic comedy plot, it basically is in a league of its own compared to what we know as romantic comedies, which is no strings attached. Which is garbage, mostly because it's ditzy, neurotic, falls for hot guy. Where's the originality in that? What is funny about Submarine is seeing what Americans think of it, which is they don't like it. I read one review from one of the worst critics in the world, not because of that review, because he likes a lot of trash and basically hates these types of films, saying that it's a film that doesn't care. What the? Next one is the True Grit new edition. This is probably the only steelbook I really own. It's the first Blu-ray steelbook I own. On the back, of course, you've got the dude as the Duke. Next two films are on Blu-ray, and I bought a 2 for $20 deal, mostly because they're no dearer than the DVD equivalent. So I thought I'd pick up Winter's Bone, which is my favourite film of last year, still is actually. And I'm a huge fan of Winter's Bone, a big supporter of it, finest film of last year, and only Williams or Lawrence really should have won the Oscar for Best Performance, because mostly without them in the lead role I don't think the film would work, and it kind of shows the power of the performance. I really think this is the best film of the year, and a really standout piece of work, really, really, really good film, which no one likes. But oh well, do I ever care? No. Halo Rising, I'm not sure if it's my favourite of his films, but I do like the film. I like Black Death a bit more, which is very similar to Halo Rising. He describes it sort of like going to a trip to Mars, which I think is quite true. It's unlike any idea to the myth that we've seen before. It's very violent at times, it's kind of boring at times as well, but it's got samurai references and spaghetti western references. You know, this is the lone warrior, basically, you know, no name. And the last film on Blu-ray, and the last film in general for this update, is Nikita. Nikita is no more expensive or no more cheaper than the DVDs I thought would go out. It's the first of the Luc Besson collection I actually have on Blu-ray at all, but I own The Fifth Element and Leon, of course, but this is basically going to top, or trying to reach the top of best Luc Besson films. I love Leon, I do love it, but Nikita, there is something about Nikita that is very different to Leon that I think actually might work better. I'm a big fan of Nikita. You can't go wrong with a film like this. You can't go wrong with many Luc Besson films from the 90s, in my opinion, even though some of The Fifth Element is hard to swallow, that's all I'll say. So that's it. DVD update / Blu-ray update is all over, and I hope you enjoyed. This will probably be the last one for a while, which is probably not a good thing, because I know these videos can get mighty popular. So yep, that is it. I hope to have some more by next year, probably, so there you go.